Happy 48 Straight Black Pride, brothers and sisters. This is your brother DC Radical 1 with another Radical Report. And 3 weeks, or nearly 3 weeks after the Sade Robinson case has been concluded with a conviction of Maxwell Anderson, there are still questions that need to be answered. Mainly one of them being that all of the body parts of Sade Robinson have not yet been found. So despite there being a conviction on the charge of murder, there's still no justice in this case, and I am wondering what justice looks like in this case when something so heinous has taken place. And can there ever be healing for the family when you lose a loved one so young, in the prime of their life, well, even before the prime of their life, and for no reason whatsoever? And I'm going to say this is maybe controversial, but the reality of the situation is, in light of this case and some others that we've highlighted in previous videos, with the racial climate in America being as it is, this idea of with these younger black women thinking that they can go find love and acceptance with non-black men, the Sade Robinson case may make you want to rethink that. Our women are very vulnerable at this time. A lot of young women are naive about the reality of the situation. You know, we hear a lot of people talking about, Trump and racism and so forth and so on. You have to understand, a lot of people voted for him for various reasons. Some people voted for him because they don't like black people and they think he doesn't like black people. With that being said, in that type of environment in the country, chasing after non-black men isn't very wise. And the Sade Robinson case is the worst case scenario of what could happen under those circumstances. So, despite the conviction, there is no justice. I don't think there could be any justice under normal circumstances or within the bounds of American jurisprudence. Even if Mr. Anderson is executed, that's not the equivalent. It would have to be very extreme measures to take place for there to be true justice, in my humble opinion. And the reality of the situation is that this case should make our people really think about what we want to do moving forward as a collective. What do we want to teach our children? It should really make us think about the efficacy of the civil rights movement. Make us think about the results of integration. There are a lot of things that this Sade Robinson case makes me think of, but for the first few days of the trial, and even after the trial, man, I found myself not being able to sleep. She was on my mind. And again, this is not a young lady that I know, but she just reminds me of a lot of our young women. And it was such a senseless death and such a heinous crime. And as we see, a premeditated one, according to witness testimony in the trial. What would make someone do something so heinous for I guess you could say, entertainment purposes. I mean, that's the question that is on my mind, even though I kind of know the answer. But I guess we can be grateful that the prosecution was able to do their job effectively. It didn't seem like the defense put up very much of a defense. But this case just leaves me empty as far as the result. And I don't think there'd be any peace until they find, at least until they find all their body parts. I have to assume that Mr. Anderson has not been forthcoming and has no interest in giving the family the information. The family has stated that they have not found all of her, and that is important. And I just think that because of that something more has to be done than just simply locking someone up. I don't know what my thoughts are extreme. I'm not gonna lie, my thoughts are very extreme. So much so that I won't even bother to voice them, because I know this will get deleted if I do. But black people in America really need to look at this case and really need to reevaluate our thoughts on what we think America is, who we think our friends are, who we, being aware of that we have enemies, we have people that hate us. We have to teach this to our children. We can't allow our children to just go out into the world thinking that everything is all lollipops and gumdrops, and that racism is a thing of the past, and that there aren't people out here who want to do black people harm simply because they want to do black people harm, not for any particular reason that black people have done anything to them. If we do not make an adjustment into the reality of the situation that we're facing and have faced here since before we got here, and we'll be facing extinction. I'm just be honest. I know that sounds hyperbolic. It sounds like a ridiculous statement, but we have hundreds of years of history showing that we're the most hated people in America. Not for any legitimate reason. We've been the most victimized. We've been the most brutalized. We've been the most murdered, the most tortured, you name it. They literally kind of ran out of Native Americans to do barbaric things too. So that's why we've taken the lead in being victimized by the people who consider themselves in charge of this country. We're still gunned down by the police at unreasonable rates for no reason. We're still incarcerated the highest. It goes on and on ad nauseum. We already know all this stuff. And now we have more and more missing women and girls. More and more missing people. We victims of organ trafficking and sex trafficking and you name it. And the Sade Robinson case, her untimely demise, should be a wake-up call to the black community that we need to rally around each other and try to organize for some type of self-defense and put up a barrier of protection around our women and girls and around our community. And the saddest part is I haven't seen any movement towards that or any agreement about that amongst the men in the community. And that part is disappointing. And I've even heard some men say, well, that's what she gets because she shouldn't have been with the guy. But again, we're talking about a 19-year-old young lady here. Not talking about a 40-year-old woman, 45-year-old woman, something like that. We're talking about a 19-year-old, in essence, a girl. And I would say to those who say that someone deserves to be dismembered, think about where you were and how you thought and what you know about the world at the age of 19, and then reconsider that. So those are my thoughts on that and on that case. This is your brother DC Radical 1. With that, I say a BB488 and straight black pride.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cash App is $DC Radical 1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB488 and straight black pride.